Hi, I'm here with the lovely Sabine Purps from Fine Dentistry. How are you?
I'm fabulous. This is great. Thanks for inviting me down here.
We're so excited to have you today and learn about your business and learn about you. So tell us how you got started in dentistry.
I'm German, as everybody can hear. I started out in Germany as a lab technician doing 3.5 years program. Then I went to dental school in Germany. It's about 6-year program. Then I worked a little bit there, and then I came here. And I had to do it all over again. I challenged the boards.
So you had to go through the training again here.
Yes, that was fantastic. Well, because once you worked, it's really hard to study biochemistry and pharmacology again. But it was just a rock in my road, and I pushed it aside and came over and did what I did. And once I had my license, in the meantime, while I got my license, I worked as a high-tech consultant to make at least some money. Because I couldn't work besides a dental assistant over here. And so this was a fabulous German company that has all high-tech equipment, and they helped me to kind of get to know the rest of the United States. On one hand, all the major trade shows were covered, and I met amazing dentists that I'm still friends with. I have people at the Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry in Turkey, and I'm pretty well connected now because of these people, and if I have any patients that see us, all of a sudden they go traveling and something happens, I usually am able to
you can recommend somebody.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then, of course, my friend in Turkey, he just treated everybody like a VIP over there. So it's fun to have good people out there that I consider part of my team, and it's fun.
Well, and tell us about the lab technician background, because that has to really be an advantage for your patients, because it seems like you'd be so detail-oriented because of that.
In dental school, I was pretty popular because everybody wanted me to do their work. But it's interesting now on my side when I worked with my 5x magnifier loops. On one hand, I see through the eyes of the lab technician what they need to have on their desk to be able to pull out the crowns with a perfect margin.
So it makes their job easier.
Correct. And it makes then my job easier because once patients come in and we have to seat a crown, I'm done in 15 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome.
It goes in. Like yesterday, I seated 4 crowns, and one needed one adjustment, and the rest just went right in. So that's really from my other route that I came from.
So tell us what drives you. I mean, every day you get up and do this job. What is it that you love about it, and what drives you to do this every day?
My main goal really is to be a health coach for all our patients, because so many times patients come in, they haven't been at the dentist for a long time, and then they have repair work that needs to be done. So if we can provide a master plan for the patient, help them to find where their goals are, where they want to go, it takes a little more time up front to work with patients, but then I know exactly where they want to go. And of course, everybody wants to keep their teeth for the rest of their life, but how come 30 million Americans are without teeth or less teeth than they didn't plan for that? But really, it was a lack of planning on the dentist's part to sit the patient down and say, hey, where do you want to go? Do you like them whiter, brighter, greener,
but
bluer,
most patients,
whatever?
Not all dentists do that with their patients.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that sometimes time restraints in a very corporate environment or in an environment where you have to see 20 patients a day. I take the time out, and it's not like I work slow, but I take a lot of time up front to sit down to find out, because every dentist after 23 years by now really can cut a crown, can cut a veneer. It's just a matter of, can you do it right the first time? And I can only do it right for the patient if I know where they want to go.
Well, and you're not necessarily fixing problems, you're sort of creating that plan so that the client or the patient doesn't have a problem.
Correct, yes. And it's really a very rewarding scenario, because the patients have not had that problem overnight. Most of the time it's years of neglect, years of, oh, I don't like the dentist, and then all of a sudden they have toothache, and so we always treat the emergency first, but then we try to gear it towards how can we create that you won't need more root canals, that you won't lose more teeth. And I can help patients get there, and I have a great team of just 3 employees. We're a really tight team, and it's just great to see patients, sometimes after a year, sometimes after 4 or 5 years, we finish the plan, we're done, and then the patient just has smooth sailing. Because the less I can see the patient, the better it is for the patient.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, sometimes if I would have to rush, or because the insurance only pays this much, sometimes colleagues get into this, okay, we got to do this in 50 minutes, or we have, I take my time.
Well, and I was going to say that about you because I'm actually one of your patients. I've been going to you for a long time. I think you're fabulous.
Thank you.
And you're not your typical dentist. I mean, what I think it sets you apart. You take time with your clients and your patients. It's not a rushed atmosphere.
Yes.
Tell us about what you think, what sets you apart from other dentists.
Our main difference really is to sit in the beginning with the patients and create that master plan. And in a high-tech environment, we can guarantee the patients that they have a tooth that's broken, we fix it, and we're done for a long time. And that's the tragedy of dentistry, that if it's not done right the first time, it's really hard to make up. It's something that I can't re-prep a tooth. The next time I go in there, you're more likely to need a root canal. And I personally don't do root canals. I have a specialist team that does those for us. So it's kind of then interruptive to my work, and the patient adds another $1,500 to their tab. So I'm trying with the high-tech equipment that I have in my office to have enough water, to take the time, to let everything soak, sometimes a little longer than other people would let patients sit there. But it really, for me, I sleep better. I know I can do the best I can with every single patient because I don't want to rush. One other thing that sets us apart as well is we have a dental fitness program in our office. And it sounds a little crazy at first, but what it does, we really measure where patients are, and then we have how much bleeding there is, how much plaque there is, how much recessions there are, and so it's a dental fitness score that we tag every patient with.
Oh, wow.
So then it's great because the patient comes in, and our range from 1 to 8, it's according to the Academy of Periodontology, where we try to have everybody in the range 1 and 2. If patients are 3s and 4s, or they come in once they're 3, all of a sudden they're 2, it helps us measure. We put everything in the computer, and it really helps patients also to celebrate their successes, because we're really trying to get the patient's gums and teeth healthier each time they come in. And that's something that really helps us, that patients come in with a dental fitness category 4 or 5, we help them to get their gums healthy. Then the next step is to get the restorative work done. We phase the treatment, and it's really nice to measure, and patients are really excited, and every time they get a dental fitness exam.
And then tell us, like, if you're a new client or a new patient coming to you, I mean, what can a new patient expect?
New patients are really fun for us because we're more and more paperless in the office. So now our website is set up that patients can make appointments online.
That's so convenient.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because we sometimes get tags at 10 o'clock at night. Patients want to be treated like, don't waste my time. So this helps patients to save time. Then they can print out the health forms at their house. They bring them in. Patients that don't have a computer, we usually send a welcome package out to the patients. Then the patient comes in, and we give them usually an office tour. So they see where everything is. They see I have a little geeky lab in the back with my gold wall, because I like, it's still one of my things I love to do, to polish and adjust and make sure it's right before we seat anything.
Well, and it's very spa-like in there, too. The atmosphere is very relaxing in there.
Yeah, our office, we built it 8 years ago, and I set it, the tone is set very feng shui. We set it so that it's, the center part is like a courtyard where we do the planning. That's where the family life happens. We do the planning, we sit there, we discuss things, and then outside are the operatories, the labs in the back. And so it's really one visit, then the patient comes in, we do a patient interview, we take a whole status of what patients, how patients got here. We take x-rays, we have one machine that takes a whole panoramic view. It's all digital.
And so you can see the whole inside of the mouth in one shot.
Correct. And what that helps me with is now with osteoporosis, we can see that on the jaw, we can see sinus problems, we can see jaw problems. And this
grinding your teeth problems, that's my problem.
Yes.
I have that.
Yes, and many people do. I wear a night guard since I'm in my 20s. But it's one of the things where we take the status, we take photos, we do an oral cancer screen, we check the gums, we do a very thorough, and most of the patients that are done with their first appointment, like, I have never had such a thorough exam. And it takes an hour and a half, yes, it's a little bit more time, but then we get all the status. Then I'm always letting patients know I need to hover over all the x-rays, the photos, to see for potential problems. Then the patient comes back, usually a week later. Then I have everything printed, and I have like a preliminary idea where the patient wants to go. Because at the first appointment, I'm also asking, where do you want to go? How did you get there? What happened? What is your story? And I'm always amazed. Patients come up with, my grandpa chased me with his denture, and I'm afraid I do anything to avoid that. Or I have patients that are, it's very moving. I have patients that have teeth at 9:15, and it's just amazing how that really drives people to avoid the dentist. But then they really need it, and it's like nobody wants to go to the dentist. It's a unnecessary or necessary evil. And we're trying to make it as comfortable for the patients as possible.
A good experience for them.
Correct, yeah. And I have many patients that have not been at the dentist for a long time, and we call it slow down to speed up, because we don't even touch the patient the first time much. It's really trying to figure out where we want to go. So the patient is not feeling overwhelmed, okay, lay down, drill, and then they're done. It's more a co-diagnosis and a co-discovery to make sure that the patient really will not lose more teeth than they already did. And there's always a short-term solution, and there's always a long-term solution. And it's not my teeth, it's the patient's teeth. So what I would do with my teeth might be different than what people want. Or it's, of course, a money factor.
Or insurance, or trying to figure out what's going to work.
And insurances are just getting dreadfuler by the minute, because employers don't pay as much for it anymore, and then it's just hard to, as a patient, to, how much is that? Oh my God. And then you add a root canal to it.
Well, and you guys are so good at looking at each person's insurance and kind of figuring everything out too. I know you guys do a great job with that.
Yeah, my receptionist, Sharon, she's a rock star. It's unbelievable. I have never worked with anybody that sits down, calls the insurance the day before to really make sure we're eligible, and then find out the details. And we're very open with our fees. So it's something that we give the patient a piece of paper, go home with it, call your insurance, double check. I have an extra software in the office that gets it pretty much dialed in, and most of the time we're zeroing out with a co-payment, and Sharon is a huge factor. She's done it for, she asked me not to say how long, but it's
for a long time.
Long time. But it's one of those things where we really bend backwards for patients. And so that's, I think, one of the main advantages in my office as well, that as picky as I'm with my crown margins, this is how picky Sharon is with making sure patients are fine with what they know up front. If I go shopping, I want to know, do I get the Gucci? Do I get the
what am I actually getting?
Exactly.
Well, and I think another thing about you is you do a lot of training and personal development, and you also do that with your staff.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, one of my core values in the office is integrity and honesty. And having said that, I expect of everybody to have a growth mindset. Growth mindsets is just, it's not blaming people, like the front did this, oh, the back did this. It's like, no, we're all in the same pot. We're all here to help the patients, and everybody is really on board on that. And we take classes together. We have a coach. Sometimes we have to travel. I'm personally involved in an amazing group of people that it's 8 dentists across the U.S., and we're raising the bar in dentistry. We just formed a board of directors to really help.
And you travel around to see each dentist location too, right?
Yes. I know these people for maybe 10 years. We all did something like an MBA for dentists 6 years ago, and they all have the same business mindset, because if the business part of dentistry is taken care of, I have so much more time for the patients. I don't need to worry about bills, or it's all
about the patient.
It's all about the patient. And one of my main mentors, Mike Schuster out of Scottsdale, Dr. Schuster, he's just done an amazing job really helping other dentists to have the business part under check. And now our new coach, Mark Cooper, he's one of the head coaches for TED, for the big website, Ideas Worth Spreading.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's such a visionary, and we have homework to do, and we have book club, and
But you're
yeah.
honing your craft.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what's so great.
Correct. There's always, life is always a balance. You need to find that the wheels are not off center. If you do too much technical training, most dentists do a lot of technical training, but they don't do personal growth. And then it's kind of staff. How do you train your staff? How do you deal with a problem with the staff? And if you learned at one point to choose the right group around you, it's just one synergy. It's just one big party during the day, because it's like a Swiss clockwork. And at the end of the day, someone's like, wow, that was a busy day, but
everybody's working together.
it's great. I love it. And that's why I love to keep it in a small, personal environment. I see 5-6 patients a day only. I love that. You know, and we help patients. Like the other day I had a patient that was traveling from far and a little jet lagged, and it's almost like their family. And that's a relationship based.
And you can feel that when you come in, I feel like,
that's
as well.
That's what we want patients to feel, yeah. We have sliding glass doors, so the clinical part is different than the waiting room. And it's just it's all one round day for us, like Swiss clockwork, for working together.
Well, now tell us, if somebody wants to try you out, they want to come in and see you, where do they find you? Where are you located? And give us your website.
Our website is sandiegofindentistry.com. And that's the best way to start. You can make appointments on the website. You can, phone numbers are on there. We have patient testimonials on there. Meanwhile, people can find us on Google quite a bit.
A lot of great reviews on Yelp and as
Yes.
well for you guys.
Yeah, and I have over 200 something surveys out there. And because we're so digital, we're always helping patients to make it easy for them. If they want to fill out a survey, it's really easy. After the appointment is set complete, they can just say something nice or not. So far, we're at a 99.
Get that feedback, that's important.
Correct. Yeah, I just checked this morning, and we're at a 99.3%.
That's great.
We're with over 200
That's phenomenal.
reviews. Yeah, we really, it's like when we're there, it's a great synergy. It's just a blast.
Well, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure learning about your business and
Thank
talking
you.
with you today. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for the interview. This is a great lounge. Everybody should see Cindy at the Pulse.
And my teeth, thank you for Sabina for taking care of my wonderful teeth.
Thank you.
Thank you.